So now that we're into Soundtrap, what do you see? What is going on the screen? So the first thing you have on the left here are tracks. And these are the different layers of sound. So every new instrument you put in, every new voice you record is going to be a new track. And then you can stagger them and organize them in the way you want them to be. For each new track, you have the option to do several things. You can add pre-made loops, use the patterns beat maker, play the synth, add more instruments, or more. So I'm going to go ahead and add a track here. And I am just going to do drum and beats. And this allows me to do patterns beat maker, which is awesome. So how does patterns beat maker work? Well, you just click on a square and it cycles through and plays that. So if you can hear that, it's a pretty quick way to get a cool sounding beat. And you can go through and cycle through a lot of different of the instruments here. So you can try different sounds of drums to get that sound that you want. And then you can actually create a longer version as well. So then once you're happy about that, you can stop and you can close this. And now you have your beats here. And one thing you can do is, let me actually delete this second part that I made. If you want to keep this beat going, you can click and drag by this little circle arrow, and that copies your beat for longer. And I currently have a loop on. That's why it keeps jumping back and forth. So I'm going to turn that loop off, and then it'll just keep going. And at any point, I can change this instrument. So if I really don't like that, I can click on that, and I can change the machine or drum here to something else. And that'll automatically update the sound, which is great. Other instruments, piano, keyboards, guitar and bass, drum and beats. You've got strings, brass and woodwinds, and all of these are played by using this piano-like figure. And you can use your keyboard to type those, or you can click on them. And then the important thing here is you just need to make sure to click the record button first. And then it'll count down, and then you can record like that. And now that shows up there. And then this little purple bar just tells you where you're at. So you can click and play. So now we have the basics of sound going here. All right, so that's really the process you're repeating. You're just creating new music, and then you can do what I did here and copy it, or you can use these little drags and you can cut things shorter as well. So you have some options there. A couple more things I wanted to point out. You have this here, which is the pre-made loops. So you can use these and pull them out, and now you have a pre-made loop that can be part of your song, and you can combine these together to make your own mix. And then you can isolate things by muting, so you can hear just what this track sounds like by clicking on these. You can also make a track louder or quieter by clicking and dragging on the volume here. All right, and then the last thing I want to talk about is collaboration. You can actually collaborate with another person using Soundtrap, which is great. So you could actually work with a friend to pull together some work. So how does that work? Well, you invite them, and you invite them by looking up their name or email. So I'm going to just invite myself using a different account. So now that person is invited, me. And then on your screen, on your main profile page, you should, I'm going to refresh, you should see that invite come through. And there it is. So I can accept and join. I'm going to skip the notifications for now. And that will also bring me into the studio here to record with my partner. So here's the important thing to note. If a partner makes a change, and if you want, you can watch this video. If your partner makes a change, so if I add a new track, piano, and I just record a short piano bit here, so now I have that, right? My partner does not automatically see that. That's not there. So what I have to do is I have to click save. And then after I click save, we need to sync. So I'm going to click on this here. There should be an option to sync for one of us. Should be, I'm going to refresh this. All right, so it appeared there. All right, so if somebody makes a change, so if anybody makes a change, they have to click save. And when they click save, that change should trickle over to the other side. You may have to refresh your page to see it. It looks like it's being a little laggy here. So just know that changes are not instant. That's what I'm trying to get at here. But you can collaborate with somebody else on a project. Then the last thing that I want to mention before we close out of this is that purple save button. Make sure you click that at the end of every time, because it does not automatically save. So make sure you click save so that you don't lose any of your work. All right, the next video, we're going to go into more of the voice recording. And then the last one, we'll go through finishing and uploading.